You keep saying you want a happy life, but you keep living like you're scared to test anything new. This is Mindset Monday, and welcome to the Bad Influence Podcast with yours truly, Jordan Banderas, where your comfort gets called out and your potential gets put on a deadline. You don't need another quote, you need a new way to live. And today's topic is this. If you want a life that feels like fulfillment, you must experiment until your character matches your purpose. Because happiness isn't found, it's built. Fulfillment isn't a vibe, it's a result of how you act every day. You can't build it by doing the same old strategy that made you miserable. Here's the lie you keep living. You think your personality is fixed. You think this is just you, like you were born with a final version. No. Your character is something you create on purpose, and the only way to create it is to test new behaviors until you find what works. You want a new life without the awkward stage of becoming a new you. You want the results without the experiments. You want certainty before you move. That's not wisdom. That's fear trying to feel smart. It's true. You don't need a perfect plan. You need reps. You need to try, fail, adjust, and try again. Because your purpose doesn't care about your feelings. Your goals don't care about your excuses. Life rewards the person who is willing to test themselves. You keep waiting to feel ready, and that's why you keep feeling stuck. The stuck feeling is not a curse. It's a signal. And that signal is that you've outgrown your old strategy. If you keep using the same methods, you'll keep getting the same emptiness. So you don't need more time. You need more experiments. You don't need more motivation. You need more proof. And proof comes from action, not thinking. You can't think your way into a new character. You behave your way into it. And yes, it's going to feel weird at first because your old self is going to fight for control. And if this hit you and your first thought was, damn, that's me, good. That's the mirror you've been dodging. Today, you stop asking life for happiness and you start building the person who can hold it. And you do it by experimenting like your future depends on it. Because it does. You keep telling yourself you want fulfillment, but your body keeps choosing the safest option. Your nervous system is addicted to familiar pain. Your chest tightens when you think about changing anything. Your stomach sinks when you imagine failing in front of people. Your throat gets tight when you have to ask questions or try a new approach. So you stay in the old routine and you call it being realistic. You wake up and your body already expects the same day. Same stress, same mood, same self-talk. You scroll before you move, like distraction is a warm blanket. Your shoulders stay tense because your mind is already on defense. You plan in your head, but you don't test in real life. Because testing means you can be wrong. And your ego treats wrong like danger. So you avoid experiments by doing fake progress. You watch videos. You save quotes. You make lists. You overthink strategies like thinking is the same as building. But when it's time to act, Your body starts bargaining. Your brain says you should wait until you're ready. Your brain says you should do more research. Your brain says you don't want to waste time. That's the joke. Avoiding experiments is what wastes time. You keep trying to pick the perfect strategy, but you don't even know who you are yet. Because character is created through doing, not through guessing. You want confidence before the reps, but confidence is built by surviving reps. That's why you feel stuck. You're trying to build a new life with an old nervous system rule. And that rule is don't risk looking stupid. So you stay quiet when you should speak. You stay small when you should stretch. You stay comfortable when you should train. Then you wonder why you don't feel alive. Well, I have bad news for you. Fulfillment needs friction. It needs you to test new habits until your body learns it's safe to grow. But instead, you keep using the same coping moves. You avoid hard talks. You avoid new environments. You avoid trying something new you might suck at. Your heart rate jumps when you step near uncertainty. Your hands get restless when you can't control the outcome. So you pull back and tell yourself, next week. Next week becomes next month. Next month becomes next year. You know what I'm talking about. And the emotional cost shows up quietly. You get irritated easily because you're disappointed in yourself. You feel numb because you're living on autopilot. You feel jealous when you see other people growing because you know you're not testing yourself. You feel regret at night because you keep choosing comfort over purpose. And your body holds that regret like tension, tight jaw, short temper, heavy chest, low energy, even when you rest, because you're not tired from doing too much. You're tired from resisting change every day. You keep hoping for happiness, but you keep refusing the experiments that build it. You can't find fulfillment while you keep protecting the version of you that hates risk. That's not a personality trait. That's fear running the show. And if you don't challenge it, it will steal your life one safe day at a time. That fear didn't start as laziness. It started as protection. You learned early on that standing out can hurt. You learned early on that being wrong can get you shamed. You learn early on that trying and failing can cost you love and respect. So you built a role that kept you safe. You became the one who doesn't risk. You became the one who stays prepared. You became the one who waits until it's perfect. That role got applause because it looked smart. But inside, it trained you to avoid growth. Now, you don't just avoid risk, you avoid becoming. Your nervous system reads experiments as exposure. That's why your chest tightens when you try a new strategy. That's why your gut flips when you step into a new room. That's why your throat locks when you need to introduce yourself or pitch something. Your body is reliving old lessons, not responding to the present. You also build another belief. You tied your word to being consistent at things you're already good at. You don't want to be a beginner because being a beginner feels like being nothing. So you keep your life inside the box where you look competent. But purpose doesn't live inside that box. Purpose demands that you learn. Purpose demands that you test. Oh, yes, it does. Purpose demands that you fail forward. That's why you keep feeling empty. You're living like safety is the goal while your soul is begging for meaning. The root wound is this: you confuse discomfort with danger. Discomfort is not danger. Discomfort is the doorway to a new character. Your body reacts now the way it did then. You feel heat in your face and assume you should stop. You feel your heart race and assume it means you're not built for it. You feel shaky and you assume you're failing. But that reaction is just your nervous system trying to keep you in the old role. The simple truth is this: awareness creates choice. When you notice the fear, you stop being owned by it. When you name the old role, you stop calling it you. You can say, this is the part of you that hates being a beginner. You can say, this is the part of you that thinks failure means shame. And when you can see it, you can choose a different move. You can breathe and still test a new strategy. You can feel the tight chest and still walk into the room. You can feel the shaky hands and still hit send. That's the whole game. Experiments don't just build skills. Experiments build your nervous system tolerance. They teach your body that growth is not a threat. And once your body learns that, your character starts changing fast. Because you stop living as the person who avoids life. You start living as the person who tests life on purpose. You wake up on a Monday and your body already wants the same safe day. Your chest feels tight the second you think about your goals. You sit up and your stomach drops like change is a threat. You tell yourself you're going to get serious again. You say it like a prayer, not like a plan. You look at your calendar and you feel the heat rise in your face. Your nervous system doesn't fear the work, it fears the unknown. You pick one goal that actually matters to you, not the one that looks good online. You write it down and your hand feels shaky like you just admitted something real. You stare at the page and you hear a thought: I'm not built for this. Your throat tightens like it wants to swallow the dream back down. You try to force confidence and it feels fake in your body. You stand up and your shoulders are stiff like armor. You decide to run the old plan again because it feels familiar. You do it for 2 hours and nothing changes. You feel numb, like you're watching your life from outside your body. You get irritated at small things because you're mad at yourself. You check your phone for a hit of relief and it doesn't land. You feel that low, buzzing anxiety under your skin. You finally admit the truth. Your old strategy is dead. You sit down and you rewrite 3 new experiments, simple and real. You keep them small because your nervous system can't handle perfect. You pick the first experiment and your heart rate jumps like you're about to get caught. You hit send on a message you've been avoiding. Your palms sweat while you wait. Your mind starts spinning worst case scenarios like it's trying to protect you. The reply comes back normal, not a disaster. Your shoulders drop a little like your body just learned something. You move to the second experiment. You change your morning routine by 10 minutes. Your brain complains because the old routine is a comfort blanket. You do it anyway, and your breath feels deeper by the end. You notice you're calmer, but your mind still wants to call it pointless. You catch the sabotage voice and you don't argue with it. You just keep moving. You start the third experiment. You work in short sprints instead of waiting for a perfect mood. The first sprint feels awful. Your chest tightens, your jaw clenches, and your focus keeps slipping. You want to quit because quitting will calm the pressure fast. You don't quit. You finish the sprint and you feel a small spark of respect for yourself. The next day, you run the same 3 experiments again. Your body is still tense, but it's less dramatic. You realize your fear didn't go away. It just got quieter when you acted. By day 4, you start adding one more experiment. You tell the truth in a conversation. Your throat locks up right before you speak. Your heart pounds like honesty is danger. You say it anyway, simple and clean. The world doesn't end, but your body shakes like it expected punishment. That night, you feel proud and terrified at the same time. You wake up the next morning and the fear tries a new trick. It tells you you're doing too much, slow down. Your shoulders creep up and your stomach tightens because part of you believes it. You skip the experiment for a day. It happens. The relief is instant and fake. By nighttime, the regret shows up like a weight in your chest. You feel restless and irritated, like you betrayed yourself. You scroll to numb it, and it still doesn't go away. You realize the worst pain isn't effort, it's self-disappointment. The next morning, you try again. But now you get cocky. You make the experiments too big, and your nervous system panics. Your breath gets shallow, your mind races, and you freeze. You fail the day, and you start talking to yourself like an enemy. You hear the thought, I always mess it up. Your chest feels heavy and your eyes burn with frustration. You almost scrap everything because scrapping feels clean. You sit on the edge of your bed and you feel your heart thumping hard. You tell yourself in your head, I need a system, not a mood. You cut the experiments back down to small, controllable steps. You choose one experiment for the week instead of 10 for the day. Your body exhales like it can finally handle it. You run the experiments daily and track it like a scientist, not a judge. You don't call yourself names, you collect data. You notice what time of day you focus best. You notice what foods make you crash. You notice what people drain you. You adjust without drama. And your nervous system, it starts trusting you. 2 weeks later, you look back and see a pattern. The experiment didn't just change your results. It changed how you react under pressure. You're less explosive, less avoidant, less stuck. You finally get it. Character isn't something you hope for. It's something you test into existence. And once you treat your life like a lab, fulfillment stops being luck and starts being built. Now you stop pretending happiness is a destination and start treating it like a build. Fulfillment is not a feeling you chase. It's a life you design. And you design it by experimenting until your character matches your purpose. Your goals don't need your perfect personality. Your goals need a version of you that can hold the weight. That version doesn't appear from thinking. That version gets built by testing behaviors until your nervous system adapts. Your body will always freak out when you try something new. Tight chest, shaky hands, sweaty hands, hot face. fast heartbeat. You know what I'm talking about. And let me tell you, that's not a stop sign. That's your system learning new rules. So here's the fork in the road. Clear and brutal. Path 1 is you staying the same person with the same habits. You keep doing what's familiar. You keep using the same strategies that don't work for you. You keep calling it who you are. You keep waiting for motivation to show up like a savior. Your nervous system stays fragile because you never train it. You stay reactive, anxious, and bored at the same time. You keep escaping into screens, food, drama, or sleep. You feel that low-level emptiness even when things look fine. You keep blaming life, timing, people, or luck. And you wake up one day realizing you traded your purpose for comfort. Path 2 is you becoming a builder of yourself. You stop chasing the right strategy and start testing the real ones. You treat your life like a lab, not a courtroom. You stop calling every fail a verdict. You call it data. Data makes you smarter. Shame makes you stuck. You choose the path that makes you evolve. That means simple experiments done daily, not random chaos. Not fake hustle. Real testing. And here are your simple instructions. No bullshit. Pick one goal that actually matters to you. Not the one that sounds impressive. The one that makes you feel alive. That one. Write the purpose behind it in one sentence. Then ask, what kind of person hits this goal? That's your character target. Now build that character through experiments. Pick one behavior to test for 7 days, just 1 week, and one test. Make it small enough that your nervous system can't panic. Make it clear enough that you can track it. Then run it daily like you're proving something to yourself. When your chest tightens, you breathe low and keep moving. When your mind says, this is dumb, you treat it like noise and keep testing. When you miss a day, don't spiral. You reset and collect the reason. Was it sleep? Was it food? Was it fear? Was it environment? You don't judge it. You learn it. Every week, you keep what works and you drop what doesn't. That's how a strategy becomes personal. That's how you stop copying other people's lives. That's how you build a life that fits your purpose. And the more you test, the calmer your nervous system gets around change. Your heart still races, but you don't freeze. Your throat still tightens, but you still speak. Your stomach still flips, but you still show up. That's growth. Now, the identity rewrite. Ready? You need to know that you are not just this way. You are a person in progress. You are not stuck. You are untested. You are not lost. You are under-experimented. You are not weak. You are untrained. You are not broken. You are learning your system. You are not waiting for happiness. You are building the habits that create it. You are not hoping for purpose. You are shaping your character to match it. That's Mindset Monday. That's you taking your life off autopilot and putting it on a plan. Now take this episode and do something with it today. Don't save it like a cute reminder and go back to the same routine. Pick one experiment and run it before the day ends. Make it so real you can't lie about it. And make it so small you can't hide from it. If you want accountability, make it public. Drop your one experiment in the comments. Not your dream, your test. And if you know someone who keeps saying they want a better life while they keep doing the same thing, send this to them. Because comfort is not kindness when it's killing your future. That's right. It is not kindness. So hit that subscribe button. Because if you keep coming back, you keep getting rebuilt. And if you keep getting rebuilt, you stop saying for a life that looks okay but feels empty. You stop waiting for someday. You stop letting fear pick your strategies. You stop calling avoidance peace. You stop quitting when it feels awkward. You stop treating discomfort like danger. You start treating discomfort like training. You start building a character that can hold love, money, discipline, and purpose. You start choosing experiments instead of excuses. You start stacking proof instead of stacking regrets. You start moving like your future is watching. You start living like your purpose is real. You start acting like you can be trusted by you. That's how fulfillment shows up. Not as luck. Not as a mood. As a result. And once you have the result, happiness stops being rare. It becomes normal. It becomes your baseline. Because you build the right you to hold it. So stop asking what's the best strategy and start asking what can you test today. Then test it. Then track it. Then adjust it. Then test again. That's the whole system. That's how you become who you need to be. That's how you create a life that feels like yours. And if you don't do it, nobody else will. Nobody's coming to design your character for you. Nobody's coming to save your potential. You either run experiments or you run excuses. You either build your purpose or you bury it. Choose the life you actually want by choosing the tests that shape you. And remember, the choice is yours.